Comparing a mid-level phone to a top-of-the-line model isn't exactly what you'd call fair. Then again, it's not supposed to be. I'm Joe Levi with Pocketnow, and this is the HTC Desire 816 versus the HTC One M8. Both the Desire 816 and the HTC One M8 run Android KitKat 4.4.2 with Sense UI 6, although certain features found on the One M8 are missing in the Desire 816. Tap to Wake is missing on the 816, as are the quick gestures to launch the camera. uFocus and Zoe are also missing from the 816. Rounding up software, we doubt there will be a Google Play edition of the Desire, but thanks to all the refinements in Sense UI 6, there probably doesn't need to be. Speaking of the camera, on the surface, the Desire 816's 13 megapixel shooter looks like a huge improvement over the One M8's 4 megapixel sensor. In practice, images shot in perfect lighting have more detail and better resolution than on the One M8. However, since many pics are shot in less than ideal situations, the One M8's camera, despite having fewer megapixels, edges out over the Desire 816. The shape of both devices is almost identical. It's the construction that's different. The Desire 816 is made of plastic with matte sides for superior grip, but a glossy fingerprint magnet back that's slippery. The One M8 features an aluminum back and is much less squeaky than the Desire in everyday use. Despite their similar design, once you look a little deeper, obvious differences surface between the Desire and the One. To start with, the Desire is a little heavier than its big brother, weighing in at 5.82 ounces for the 816 compared to 5.64 ounces for the One M8. The batteries they sport are the same capacities, 2600 mAh, but the screen on the Desire is a bit bigger, 5.5 inches versus the 5-incher on the One M8. That's not where the screen differences end. The Desire uses a Super LCD 2 panel with a 720p resolution and only 267 pixels per inch. The One M8's smaller screen uses LCD 3 technology to deliver a 1080p resolution with 441 ppi. Don't let that fool you though. The display on the Desire is big, bold, bright, and looks fantastic. HD video feels right at home on a more than adequately sized screen. Flanking the screen on both devices are a pair of front-firing stereo speakers. Although the grills look different, thanks to boom sound, both phones sound great. Tucked neatly behind the glass of the Desire 816 is a 1.6 GHz quad-core Snapdragon 400 and an Adreno 305 GPU. The One M8, on the other hand, is powered by a 2.3 GHz or 2.5 GHz Snapdragon 801 with an Adreno 330 GPU, depending on configuration. The Desire also includes a little bit less RAM, 1.5 gig compared to the One's 2 gig. We're glad HTC split the difference and didn't go with a single gig on the Desire 816. When it comes to data, both phones have LTE, though we haven't been able to test how well it works on the Desire since it's only compatible with T-Mobile's Edge bands. When it comes to Wi-Fi, however, the Desire doesn't include the 5 GHz band at all, which means it doesnn't have any 802.11a or AC like the One M8 does. For why that's important, make sure you check out our editorial on the topic. The link is down in the description below. Another wireless technology that's missing from the Desire is NFC. Though we can live without the Google Wallet and ISIS features, not being able to tap to beam content from one device to another is a major disappointment. When it comes to everyday performance, of course the One M8 is going to win hands down over the Desire 816. The processor and the RAM just aren't going to let the Desire perform anywhere near what the One M8 does. In practical use, however, we didn't notice any lag, we didn't notice any slowdowns, we really didn't miss any of that speed. What we did notice, however, combined with the Snapdragon 400 and the Adreno 305 powering that 720p display, compared to what's on the One M8. Battery life on the Desire 816 was phenomenal. It got us through not just a day, but days of work. For a phone that's supposed to be the mid-tier line from HTC, the Desire 816 seems an awful lot more close to the top tier than it does to the bottom. If you don't mind a little bit more heft and a little bit more size, combined with a little bit of cuts to the performance and the specs inside, the Desire 816 is a fabulous device when compared to the HTC One M8. That's how HTC's Desire 816 stacks up against their very own One M8. We've got a lot more coverage coming on the Desire 816 and why it might be something you should consider coming up here at Pocketnow. Make sure you've subscribed so you don't miss out on any of that. While you're at it, make sure you like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends if you liked what you saw here. For Pocketnow, showing off phones, comparing them to others, I'm Joe Levi. Thanks for watching.